Tamara here, nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. Now in today's video I have a step-by-step tutorial for the paper bag album using the Curiouser and Curiouser papers from Graphic 45. Now I have done a project share previously on my channel of this album, and if you click up in that corner there, that will take you to that video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and most definitely subscribe to the channel. It really helps my channel grow, and I thank each and every one of you. I also have a free PDF cutting guide that accompanies this video, and it can be found by joining my Facebook group Memories Paper Art. You will need also on the Graphic 45 blog. These measure 6 inches by 11 and I think it's 7/8. They're quite a large lunch bag. You can do it with the smaller paper bags, but obviously the measurements won't be the same for that, so you'd have to adjust them accordingly. You will need some Graphic 45 paper. I'm also going to be using some of the rub-ons as well, and lots of other stuff as well. You will need to have some either craft card and black cardstock, or the colour of your choice. I'm going to be using craft card as my backing card for this, but any of the embellishments I will, and for my photo mats I'm going to be using black. I've actually, on this one, I've alternated the two colorways. It looked quite nice, so I thought that's what we would do again. And also the rub-ons looked really good just on the plain cardstock as well. We're going to start with the pages first of all. So you'll just need 4 of your bags. I've got them here. And then we're going to use our trimmer, and I'm just going to trim off 7/8 of an inch. So it's not quite at the 1 inch mark. It's 2 lines down to the 7 7/8 mark. And we're just going to cut that off. These can go in the bin, as you don't need them. So once we've cut off our top of our bags, we need to then fold the bottom bit of our bags over. So we're going to fold it one way first. Now as you can see, here's the bottom of my bag with the flap this side. Now I want this flap the other side, so I'm going to refold it this way so I can use the bottom edge of the bag just so that I've got an idea of where I'm going to be folding it. Okay, like so. And then just create that nice sharp crease. And as you can see, there's a nice sharp crease in there. But we need to fold it the other way now. So I'm going to refold it, but fold it the other way, so that we've got the flappy bit is at the bottom, and that flappy bit is going to hide the top edge of our extendable hinge. So it gives it something to hold on to. So it makes it really hidden. So you're going to go and do them with all 4 of your pages. Now I've done 3 already. This is just my last one here. So I'm just going to rescore that and rescore that again. So that's our 4 pages ready to go. And I have to say, they are quite level. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with that. That's, as it's a paper bag, they're not going to be exactly. So using our last 2 bags, we're going to make the covers for the album. You want to put it so that you've got the 2 bottoms on either end, like that. Now I am going to draw a bit of a line. So I'm going to draw a 1/2 inch line just on one of them, because what's going to happen is you're going to put the bag inside the other bag. So it's going to go like that. Okay, now it doesn't matter where you put it. You can put it at the bottom so that you've got the two flaps on the top, or you can put it on the top here and have the two edges of the bag at the bottom. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't make any difference. So on the bag that's got our 1/2 inch mark, I've put my glue. Now I'm going to put the glue on the top part and on the bottom. Now I didn't do it this side, but I am just going to by eye it, okay, like so. And then you just need to just squeeze that in, or ease it in, not squeeze it, maybe ease it in, okay, so that it gets to that 1 inch, that 1/2 inch, and then just burnish that down. Now if you can still see your line, I'm just going to rub that out. Not that it's going to make a difference, but I don't really want to see it on the edge. Now as you can see, it is quite an invisible line there and on this side as well, okay, like so. Now what I will do with this one is I am going to stick my edges together just at the top here, like so, and under here. So I'm going underneath and we are just sticking those extendable edges together. Okay, so once you've got your bag all glued down, we're going to move the bottom of the bag here so that it's the other way. So to do that, so it was like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to just fold it so that the bottom of the bag, all the workings out for the bottom of the bag is facing upwards. It's not facing in, it's facing up. So you've got that little flat bit towards the outside edge. So once we've done that, we then need a template. Now I've just cut one out of some scrap piece of card, and it's going to measure 1 5/8. Now this is an 1/8 of an inch bigger than our hinges, but then that gives us a little bit of leeway either side of our hinge to allow for your creases and your score lines and things. So once you've got that, we're just going to place it into that fold line like so. And once you're happy, just bend it over and draw yourself a line. Okay. And then bring in your scoreboard and we're just going to score on that line. So I'm just going to score that quite vigorously at that mark. And this is then going to be our first spine. Score that down like so. So then we've got the workings of our bag. So we've got our flap, our spine for the hinges. Now we need to work on the back. So from the scored line that you've just done, we are going to measure to 8.5. Okay, just there like so. And then from that line to that line gives you your 8.5. Now we are going to score that down like so. So once you've scored it, fold it over like that. Okay, burnish that down. And then we're going to use our little template again to create the next fold. There we are. So just mark at the top and the bottom. just double check that you've got it right. It's always best to check to make sure that you've got the correct measurement. And yeah, I did. So we're going to score on that again. And that's going to create our roll top. So fold that down. And then you've got this here. Now we are going to do some score lines, 1/8 of an inch increment between those lines. Okay, now I'm going to use my actual scoreboard for this step. Now, if you're working this way, this is what we've done so far. So this is our hinge spine, like so. So our hinge spine, our back piece, and then this bit is our roll top here. So from that first line, you're going to butt it up as close to the edge there as you can. Now it will be a bit awkward because you'll have to fight with the back, but there's no other way to do this, unfortunately. And then we're just going to score at 1/8 of an inch increment all the way down. So then that's your roll top. Again, it's not brilliant, but we've got some marks there ready. So that is your album made. Now I am on this one going to just glue down this flap that's on the left hand side. That's glued down so it stops flapping about. And then also glue the sides down as well. And done that one already. So that's my first one. And then my second one. I'm going to leave that one because I may make that into a pocket. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, because this then is our roll top. So you can start, if you want to roll this around. But I think I'm going to wait until I've got my other bits on and then roll it properly, I think. So next on our list is the hinges. So with our hinges, we are going to cut 2 of them, and they're going to, hinge 1 is 6 inches by 2.5. So 6 inches, I'm going to do my 6 inch first, by 2.5, and then hinge 2 is 6 inches by 3.5, so it's an inch bigger. Okay, so that's our hinges. Now to do our scoring, on your hinge 1 we're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch. I'm going to turn it round, sorry, I'm going to do my 1.5 and then at 2. Okay, so that's hinge 1. So I'll fold them in a second. So hinge 1, so hinge 2 is 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. Okay, so that's our hinges. So to fold them, we need to fold with the mounted side fold facing towards the bottom. I'm just going to fold them across like so, and then score that down, and then fold 2, do the same and score that down. Okay, So that's on one side. Now I'm just folding the other score line over the other side so that you've got a bit more of a easy flap. Okay, so we now need to move on to the opposite side. So I'm going to fold these ones. So I'm going to fold the fold 2 first. Okay, and then I'm going to fold the last fold in. Okay, and again fold that the other way. Okay, don't worry about folding the ones here, because what's going to happen is we're going to use this score line in the middle. So it's really difficult. Let me see if I can. No, you can't see, but on yours you should have like a column. You should have 3 columns, and the 2 score lines that are in the middle, we're going to use that as a guide. Okay, so fold your hinge 1. Okay, we're going to fold all of these score lines down. So the next one, we're going to fold that over, burnish it down, and then burnish them down. And we're going to put them together. So hinge 1 goes onto hinge 2. Then you can see now that this column here in the middle is going to fit into the column in the middle of your hinge 2. And I am going to put some tape and glue on this. Now the tape is just to help it stick right now. And there we go. Like that. Take that off. And then I am going to glue all the way along. Okay. Will give us a bit of wiggle time. So I'm just going to line it up with that column in the middle, and again on that side, and that went down without a hitch. Okay, so that's then your hinges. Right, so I'm going to actually put my hinges into my book. Now normally I would say angle the corners on your hinge, but I'm not going to today, because our hinges are slightly smaller than our pages, and they've been made that way because when I made them a little bit bigger, I got the hinge sticking out the top. I didn't like it, so that's why they're a bit smaller. So I am going to use a line of tape just down the edge there and take that off, and then again my glue all the way over. Now this is going in the center, so you've got 2 hinges on one side and 2 hinges on the other. Okay, and then you've got glue all the way in between. So I'm going to fold them up, and we're just going to eye it. Now, as I say, we have got probably an 1/8 of an inch gap at the top and an 1/8 of an inch gap at the bottom. Okay, and just move it over just so that you are happy with it. And as I say, the spine is an 1/8 of an inch bigger either side, so that you've got that tiny allowance for the folds. When you're happy with your placement, burnish it down really well. There we go. So now we're starting to make our album look like an album. So now onto our pages. So before we stick them into our album, we do need to put our glue on all of the side flaps as well. So I'm just going to add my glue all the way around and stick them down. Now I'm not going to worry so much about the flat bit here. I'm going to leave that because that's where our hinge is going to go. but I am going to do just all the side flaps. Now the next thing you need to do is inside you need to just push down or just glue down the flap to one side of your page on the inside, and you just need to do the top bit. You don't need to do it all, just that top bit, and then you'll find that it will stick to the one side, and you'll just have that nice opening gap. There we go. So that's those done. So that's your pages prepped and ready to go. Okay. So once you've glued all your sides and the top part, we need to then prep our pages for our hinges. Now, as you know, this is far too big for our hinge. Our hinge is only small. So what we're going to do is I just need you to draw a 5/8 of an inch line along one side of your bag. Okay. And do this for all 4 bags. Now I'm going to do one at a time, well obviously, and I'm going to put my glue along the top and just down the side there, like so. Push that down. Okay, now this is probably the wrong one to do it on because this wasn't scored straight, so I'm going to put that one right at the back. So let's put our glue in our pocket like so, and push that down, and then this is going to be my front facing one, so I'm going to have my front page as my plain page. So I'm just putting my glue on both sides of my hinge on that 1/2 inch line. Now bring in your page. We're just going to slide it on, and then when you're happy with the placement, I'm going to have it just like so. Make sure that it's not covering that scored edge of your hinge. Okay, and that it's straight. Make sure that it's straight. Yeah. Okay, and then when you're happy, just burnish that down. Make sure that you've got both sides are in correctly. I didn't get this one in right. I'm just going to pull that up, pull that over, make sure that we've got that in correct. There we go, that's better. There we are. And then just burnish it down on both sides. Now, as you can see, it's a bit short. Now, I did it that way because when we put our last page in, it will be literally here, and then it's going to give us enough space for our pull-out mats out of the pockets at the top. Put that back in. So now we can just go ahead and do the next ones. Now I'm going to do it where you've got pocket on pocket. Okay. Okay, that's our pages into our book now. So now it's now looking like an album. And how quick was that? It's really quick. Now, you can go ahead and ink the edges. I inked all the edges on there, but I might do that in just a minute before we put any of our other bits on. Now, you might need to just go around, and if your glue hasn't caught some of your pages like mine has, just add a little bit more glue, just so that you've got every inch stuck down. So cut the front cover. You need 2 of those. I've already cut mine at 6 inches by 7 1/4, and just put FC on there like so. And I'm going to just put them in a binder clip to hold them together. So next we need to cut the flap, and that needs to measure 3 7/8 by 6, and you can use the part that come off of your front cover. So I've just got 2 here together, so I'm going to do that at 6. That's a bit small. So 6 inches by 3 7/8, like so. So this is 3 7/8 by 6, and this is front flap. Okay, I'm just going to put another binder clip around them so that they are there. So now they're the flat back spine, and again you can use what come off of your offcuts, and this is going to be cut at 6 inches by 1 1/2, and then you're going to leave that as that is, and I'm just going to put spine and then just measure it just to make sure that I've got it correct. Yeah, that looks a nice distance, so I'm just going to add that to those flat covers there. Next, do the rolled spine, and that's going to be 1 1/2 by 6 inches, and for this we are going to score at 1/8 increments all the way to the end. So that's my increments. I'm just going to roll it on the side of my desk, like so. So I'm not going to bother writing on that because we know what that is. I only did one of the craft card roll top spines in the video, but you will need to do another one. So once we've done that, we can then move on to the album back. And we need again to cut 2 of these, and they're going to be cut at 8 1/4 by 6. So I'm just going to use 2 pieces of paper cardstock together. So the 8 1/4 is already there by 6. So that's our album back, and I am just going to write on there album back. I like to write on there what measurement it is as well. So that's that. So now we need to do the belly band closure, and that is this at the front here, okay? And we are going to just cut it down. We're not going to bother scoring it just yet. We will just cut it down. So those measurements will be 2 inches by 9. So I'm going to go this way and do my 2 inches. And I'm going to leave that length, and then we can cut it down afterwards. So this is going to be belly band closure 2 by 9. I'm just going to put 2 by 9, but I'm going to leave that as is. So I'm just going to stick that on there. Now cut the craft card for your pockets. For your pages. Now I'm going to do them for the sake of the PDF as well as on here. I'm going to name my pages A and B. So my flat page they're all going to be called A's, and my pocket pages are all going to be called B's. So that's a B page, a B page, a B and a B. Now I'm going to do it that way is because I've changed my configuration in this album than what I did in the Curious and Curiouser. So we're going to have to cut 4 of these, so 4 of your A pages. Now I'll cut one with you and then you can cut the rest. Now I'm just going to put 2 together because then I can cut 2 at once. So we're going to go with 6 3/4 by 6. So I'm going to do my 6 3/4 first. So if you cut, I've cut 2. You need to cut another 2 out now. So we're going to do page B now, and page B is comprising of 2 parts. So you've got a top part and a bottom part, which is the pocket. So we're going to cut the top part first, and that's going to be at 3 by 6. Now use any offcuts that you've got. So this is going to be 3 by 6. I'm just double checking, making sure. 3 by 6. Now I've cut it this way, and hopefully be able to get a few more pieces out of one sheet. Now I've cut 2 pieces together to cut my 4 pieces. So that's my top part. So I'm going to just put a binder on there, and top page B, 3 by 6. So that can go over there. So now we need to do the bottom part, and I've got a little bit left here. So the bottom part is at 3 7/8 by 6. So 6 by 3 7/8. We've cut 2, but you need to cut 4. Page B, and it is 3 7/8 by 6. So I'm going to put them back on where the top is. I need to put on their pocket. Okay, so that's those cut out. So next we've just got the belly bands to do, and they are just the ones that are going to go on our pages. Now I've gone ahead and cut my belly band for page 1. Now the page 1 belly band is going to be 3 7/8 by 6 3/8, and then you've got a belly band tuck spot which is 6 5/8 by 1 3/8, which is this one here. Okay. So going on to page 2, so page 2 belly band is going to be just 6 inches by 1 5/8. So that's my belly band. That's going to go across like so. So that's page 2. So this will be this page here. So this is going to be on my pocket. So page 2 belly band, 1 5/8 by 6. Okay, I'm just going to stick all the belly bands together. So doing page 6 and 7, there are flat pages here. Now you need to cut 2 of these. So the belly band is going to be 4 by 6. So 4 by 6. So that's the belly band. And then we're going to have a belly band pocket, and that needs to be cut at 4 7/8 by 3, and you may have enough of part of one of your other sheets to do this. And then we're going to go ahead and score on 3 sides, so 2 short sides and 1 long side. Like so. And then grabbing your scissors, we're just going to angle those corners. So we're just going to cut up to where our score lines have met, and then I'll just miter the top glue tabs as well, and when you fold them over you should get a nice neat corner. Okay, so that and that, so they are going to go on this page here with these, like so. And then we've just got the last page, which will be the belly band, which is the tag holder page, and that's going to be cut at 8 1/8 by 2 3/4. So that's going to go onto the back here like so. And then we've got a little tag holder at the bottom, and I've said it should be 2 by 4, but again keep it as big as you want. I'm going to leave this at 5, and I'm going to score it at 2.5. Okay, again you can cut it down or make it bigger, really up to you. It's just really just to hold your tag in place. Okay, so it can be smaller. The only things we haven't cut out are all our photo mats. I thought we would cut it out separately, but I wanted to get the album sort of made a bit more rigid so that we can then work with it a little bit more. But before I do that, I'm going to go around and I'm going to ink all my edges on everything. Now I'm going to use brown ink for my edges, and it will take a while, so I will come back when I have finished that. Okay, I've inked all my edges, so I've got everything all edged in brown ink. I used VersaFine Claire, and it's the Pinecone one if you're interested. I like the darker inks than the lighter ones. So I've just gone round and I've done every single edge that I could see. I may have missed some, but we'll go from there if we have. So I've got my pieces in order of how I'm going to put this album together. So I thought that we would start with the front covers, inside and outside and inside, to start to get some more make this album more rigid and more like an album than the paper bags. So I thought we'd start with the inside cover first, because then we've got a nice flat surface to work on. So I've got my front cover here, so this is the inside, and we're just going to go ahead and start to attach it. Now if you want to use double-sided tape as well, you can do, but I won't need to on this, but because I'm going to make sure I give it a lot of glue. And we're just going to put that on like so. Make sure you've got some nice matte and layer borders all the way around. Now as I said, it may not be all the way straight. You may just have to live with that, unfortunately, because it is a paper bag at the end of the day. But I'm going to try my best to hide those bits if I can. So that's my inside front cover done. So as you can see, it does make the book a lot more sturdy. So I'm going to just open that out, and we can put then the actual front cover on. When that moves it over, that will give you a nice straight edge. Now I am going to just burnish these down just to make sure that they're nice and stuck. Okay, so that's that part done. So then I thought we'd go on to the actual flap, the little tiny flap that we've got here. And again, I'm going to do the inside and then come back and do the outside. Now let's do the back. So I'm just going to open these out like so and move that across there so that we can do the back piece. Like so. Now I thought we'd do the back rather than do the spines just yet. So that's the back and the front on the back, the inside. So now we've just got our our spines to do. Now I'm going to do the flat spine first, get that on. And then just burnish that in place, like so. So that's our spine. And then we've got the roll top one. Now the roll top one may be a bit more difficult because it's obviously rolled. We will need to just add a little bit of our double-sided tape. So making sure I've got the right side. Now I am going to stick it to the edges here. So this part we're working on the outside. We will come and do the inside of the roll top at a later stage in the project. Okay. And then what we can do is just squidge that down so that we get all the pieces done, and then we should be able to roll it on the edge of our table. There we go. It's rolling. Just be gentle with it and then it will eventually start to roll. If we do a page and then you can go away and finish yours. So let me do the first page. So the first page is just a plain page. So we can go ahead and stick that down. And then I'm just going to fold it over or flip it over and just burnish that on the other side. So that's that page. So then we need to do our pocket page. Now the reason why I've not glued these down yet is because I want to put our paper on first. So I actually want to put this and then our pattern paper on before we close it up, because I want it to be so that it all marries up. And then when we come to put our pattern paper on, we can then close that up, because I didn't think there was any point of covering this part to make it even more bulky, so I kind of left it like that. So you can go ahead and just put the rest of your backing card on. So that is my book covered with our craft card. So we've got front cover nicely, we've got a flap, then we've got 4 pocket pages like so, and then we have our back page as well. So that is that for all of the card for the moment. So you can now get out your beautiful pattern paper, whatever you're going to be using. If you're going to do this tutorial, put it in the comments below what pattern paper you use, what you will be using. I would be interested to see or hear. So let's get the pattern paper out and we can start cutting. Okay, let's now get on to do our belly band. Now, I'm going to use the Patterns and Solids front cover because it's a bit more sturdier than my craft card, and it's going to give a nice feel to it as well. So I'm just going to cut off, I'm going to cut this top bit off first, and I'm going to use them for something else. I haven't decided yet, but I like them. So then I'm going to come down and cut to 2 inches down here, like so. And then I'm going to cut to 9. I've cut it to 9, which is a bit bigger than what I need. That way, if I make a mistake, I've got a little bit more I can play around with. So I'm going to come down first of all, and I'm going to score the top bit at 1, and then I'm going to move it down and score at 1/4. So it's 1 1/4. Okay, like so, and then that gives you a 1/4 inch gusset to play about with on your album. So we're going to measure it now. So I need to make sure I measure it so that the extra bit is outwards. Okay, so I might do it this way because then that should be correct. So let me move that down like so, and then this is my first line, and then I need to make my second line upwards. So where does that take me to? Let me just check on there. I don't know where I got that from. Right, so that takes me to, I'm going to do that at 5/8. Okay. 5/8, do my line, and then I'm going to move it down 1/4 inch. So this needs then to be at 3/8 to give me my 1/4 inch, like so. And then let's put this on, and this should hopefully work. That's better. And then that gives me that space on the other side. Now I am going to ink these edges. Now I am using VersaFine Clair, so it will dry on this glossy paper, but if you're using distress inks it won't. You maybe have to use Archival if you want to use your distress ink and you've got the distress ink in Archival, it would work. So I'm going to add my glue to the glue tab at the back. I'm going to put it all the way over, and I'm going to stick one down first. And I'm going to have to do the bottom bit first because I had it upside down, and I'm going to position it so that the first score line is at the back, and then you've got that gusset bit at the front. Now I'm not really paying much attention to where this is going, because you're going to have this is going to fit inside it. As long as it's in the middle, it should be okay, like so. So I actually might move it over a tiny bit. There we go, just a bit. Okay, I'm going to glue down that next bit, and then that should then fit in there nicely. There we go, like so. And then that, once we get that front bit on, that's going to just hide it beautifully, and then you actually won't see that so much because that'll be hidden. I'm going to put quite a big focal image on the front there. So you can, if you want to now, you could pattern in some extra pattern paper on there if you want to. Got some extra bits here that I could just piece in that would just go nicely. So that then is near enough the front. So let's have a look at our focal point. I may use either the Curiosa and Curiosa. I think that's quite nice. I think we'll use that one. So let me cut that out. I think that is about right. Yep, that's beautiful. Right, I'm going to back this now. I backed my other one onto black card, and we need to cut this to 4 inches by 5 7/8. Yeah, that's better. And I'm just going to add some, as I said, some of that pattern paper just along that edge. So I've cut 2 pieces out now, and I've just done them at 1 inch by 1 7/8, just so that it just hides that little bit there. Let's just put the second one on. Make sure it's up the right way. Okay, then we can just put this bit on the top, and I think what I will do with this is let's add it on some foam tape. That might be a good idea actually. So I'm just going to position it where I think it's going to go, and then I'm going to put the foam tape just on the edge. That's one side, and okay, and then just position it so that it is, I've just done it so that it is virtually level with the corner here of my book, like so. And then push that down, and then we can just stick that in then like that, and then that's going to hold it in place like that. I love that idea, I really do. So now we've got just we've got this bit here just to cover those up. So this is going to be 5 7/8 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut it off that side because I want the Alice on there. And then this is going to fit. Okay, so we just stick this bit on now, and then that's going to hide then the closure part for our belly band on the front. And then I'm just gonna check again because I love it. So let's move on to our first page. Now the first page I am going to use this out of the Patterns and Solids. So this is going to measure for page 1 6 5/8 by 3 3/4. Bring in our page, just check we've got it all right. Yep. And then just quickly ink around the edges. We can stick that down. then bring in the belly band bits that we've done. So this is the belly band that's going to go across our page, and we can go ahead and stick that down. And then work out where you want it. So I'm going to have my as near to the middle as I can get it. And then we have also got our little tuck tag holder here that I've cut out. Now all this is 5 inches, and I've scored it in the middle at 2.5. So it's going to go over in like so. I know it's a little big, but I need it that big because I want to put my glue sort of on there, and then I want to move it up. So where you want it, get it, and then just move it up a little bit. Now I want it so that it's just about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, because we're going to have a something covering this. So I'm just going to put a line round there, so I know not to go anywhere above that line with my glue. We'll go with that, or we could go with the other hearts that are on that side. I know this is upside down, but I'm just having a look what we think. Yeah, I actually like that. So we'll go with this. So this needs to be cut down to 3 3/4 by 6 5/8. So don't forget to just ink around those edges. Now we have to cover the tag holder, and I'm just going to use one of the cut aparts from the paper collection. And I was toying with the idea of using the flamingo, but when I cut it out I decided not to use the flamingo but use the actual back of it. Now before we actually stick it down, we need to back it. Now I'm going to use black card again, so I need 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So ink the edges again. So you could even use that and have it as a journaling spot. I'm sorry, flamingo. Right, so that's on there like so. We need to add our little tuck spot now before we attach our focal image, and we're going to cut this to 6 inches by 1 5/8. So I've got a 1/8 of an inch gap either side, and then that can go across there like so, but I might move that up a bit. So with this I'm going along the 3 edges, so the 2 small edges and then the 1 long edge. Next we need to pattern paper our little tuck spot, and that is going to be 5 7/8 by 1 1/2. And that's a shame, I'm going to cover that clock up. So glue on there, and then glue on here. That's that. There we go. So then you've got a tuck spot here that you can put in loads of different tuck spot things in there, and then you've got a nice big pocket that you can then put in a nice tag as well. So that is then that first page done. So for page 2, we are going to add our pattern paper first before we glue down the pocket. So let me have a look. So I might use this paper here and have a pattern match. The measurements for the bottom are going to be 3 3/4 by 5 7/8, and you need to cut 4 of these. And the measurements for the top are 2 7/8 by 5 7/8, and again you'll need to cut 4 of these. So let me do the bottom. So ink again. And then the next one, ink these edges. So now we just need to put our glue down the sides here and close it up. Now what you can do if you want is just add a binder clip just to keep it closed, like so, and then when that's dry we'll finish that next part. I actually might go with the black on this page so then it offsets this here. So carry on and pick your papers for your page 3 and do exactly the same as what you've done for page 2. So we're working on pages 4 and 5 now, and we are going to pattern match from page 4 all the way on to page 5's bottom pocket. So we'll have the full pattern on page 4, our hinge covers, and then the bottom pocket will be done in the same pattern paper. So starting with the measurements for page 4, and that's our A page measurement. So that's going to be 6 5/8 by 5 7/8. Now I'm going to cut it with the header strip that's facing to me so that I can twist it round, and then I'm going to have the pattern match then going from left to right. So I'm just cutting the A page now, or page 4. So that's going to go on there. And then I'll now cut the hinge covers. And the hinge covers will be 3/8 by 5 7/8, and you'll need to cut 3 of these. Now what I did here was I was trying to cut corners, and I cut the measurement for my pocket first before I then cut my hinge covers out. So you'll see in a minute that I actually had about 3/8 of an inch more paper than I needed. So what I decided to do was take 1/2 inch off the pocket at the top. So it was the bottom pocket, but the top of the pattern paper. I decided to take 1/2 inch off of that, use the extra 3/8 that I'd cut up and put that along the bottom, so that would pattern match in, and then butt up the last remaining bit of pattern paper that I had, so that you could you couldn't see where I joined it, and that's how I got away with that. And then you wouldn't even know. So then this needs to go on this side, down and around like so. I'm going to use this because this is the back of this pattern paper. So this needs to be, so the top part of our pocket needs to be 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. So, and then just put your glue along those edges, just so that they can close up. I've gone ahead and cut out my A page measurements for my pages 6 and 7, and I've also cut out the hinge covers that are going to pattern match with my left page. I'm going to make these two pages identical. I'm going to pattern piece it. It's not going to work on this side, but it will work from this side here, so from your left, but you can do it from the other side if you want. Just take all that glue off, and before I stick this down, I'm just going to add my inked edges. There we go. So the next thing we've got is to do our belly band, and the belly band is quite a big one, so it's going to go all the way across. Put it there. So I'm going to use the red. I'm going to do these two pages the same. So the belly band, will be 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And I'm going to use the offcut of that to do exactly the same. Like so, and I'll just ink the edges. And then do the same for this side. So that's the two belly bands. Now we've got the pocket, and I'm going to put the pocket on next. So the pocket is virtually the same size as the belly band. I'm just going to quickly just burnish them score lines down to make them a little bit more crisper. And then we can put this on like so, and I'm going to come down so that I cover that bottom bit off. So let's add our glue. Down. And then just to help it stick in place, I will add my binder clips. More that side. It won't take long to dry. By the time we've done this one, that one should be dry. Okay. So that's then those bits. Now the next thing we're going to do is our flap to keep our pockets in. Sorry, to keep our tags in so they don't slide out. I'm going to add a little flap. Now you can add it with using some of your craft card, or if you want, or your black cardstock. But I'm just going to use the pattern paper just to create a little flap. So I've just found this offcut, so I'm going to use this. Try and get that in the middle. And hopefully I can get it. Oh, just about. Look at that. I can just get that in the middle there. So I'm going to go down to, so I'm going to cut that little bit off. So I'm still at 6, and add your glue tab. Going to do this, add a glue tab like so, so that can go there. And they might be a little long. If they are, just cut them down, but I'm going to leave mine at that length for the moment because we need to add a little tuck spot in there. But yeah, I might cut them down by 1/2 inch. Yeah, cut them down by 1/2 inch. It's a shame, I like that little bit at the bottom there. There we go, that's better. Round your edges. your corners. And on this side, like so. And then I'm going to put them in place. I'm going to actually stick them down. I'm sticking it down to the underside of that belly band. But what I will also do is just add a bit of foundation tape just underneath, just to stop anything from catching onto it, like so. And again, like so. Now you're not going to see this under there, but it's going to stop anything catching onto it as you put your photo mat in. And that's there. Brilliant. Leave that open. So now we've got our little tuck spot to do. Okay, I've cut out 2 of the borders here that I'm toying with the idea of using. So the pocket, the belly band pocket, the pattern paper measurement is 3 3/4 by 2 3/8. So they are the black. I'm just going to ink those edges, and then we can stick these on. Two. And then I'm going to add a flap closure. Okay, I'm going to go with the black for my backing for this. So we're going to go at 7/8 by 3. And then this one I'm going to cut down to 2 7/8. There we go. So that's my other side. So I'm going to add this glue. And then the glue is just going to go on the very ends. Like so. And then I put it there. And then that will come out and go in quite nicely. Same with this one. So 3. And that's going to go on there, like so. So again, we're just going to add our glue at the very top. I'm going to put a double line of glue on this so that it really does stick. So it's about 1/4 inch on either side, and it's going to go in the middle. Push it down. Like so. And then if you want to just add some binder clips just to keep it down so that it helps it to stick, you can do, but I'm not going to bother. Again, just doing 1/4 inch. Glue. Fire it. Now, although they're a little bit different, because obviously that's a bit different there, but then you can get the idea. And then in here, you can then just put quite a big photo mat, and then you've got that there that you can put some of your tags in. Some of the Graphic 45 tags you could put in there. You can put the small ones, which would look really nice. So let's use this one, and then we can pattern match that on. So we need, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to go this way. So turn it around so that I'm cutting from the top down. And we're actually going to cut this way at 5 7/8. So we've still got the top bit, and then we're going to cut this at 8 inches. So that's that there. And then what I'm going to do is, this is at 7/8. I'll just check I've got that right. Sorry, this is at a half, so it'd be at 3/8. So that is that there, and then this is just a little bit small. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a border over there to hide that, so that you can't see that that is a little gap. Okay. And then we'll put our little hinge cover on. Like so. And then we're going to add this on here. Now I'm going to come down. Now, as you can see, I've got quite a big gap at the top. Now this is would be 5 7/8. By that, I think it's about 1 5/8. But you can have it smaller if you want. But I'm going to come to about, I'm going to go right to the top of that, like so. And then what have I got that's spare? We're going to go with this. So I'm going to cut this at 1.5 by 5 7/8. So then that can become a little tuck spot. So we're going to create a little booklet that's going to go into our little tuck spot that's on page 8. And you'll need to cut these measurements. So they need to be 6 3/4 by 5. Then you need to score at 3 inches on the short side. Right, so that's better. There we go. I'm going to round these corners. So I'm going to add one of the cutouts from the paper pad, and I'm going to back it onto some of the cover that come from the patterns and solids. I am going to cut it out, and I think I'm going to use the red part of this just to make it stand out a little bit more, like so. And then that can fit over there. And I'll round the corners on here. So then that can go on the top. Now I'm going to use a border on this as well. If you cut it down to 5 inches, and I'm using a part of the panelling from the Patterns and Solids cover to create my border. So, and then you can lift that out, and then you've got another little tiny little thing there, a little booklet. So that adds a bit more interest to that page, like so. So we need to finish this top bit, and then we've got to finish this bit. So let's just add this while I'm here. So this is going to be 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. 2 7/8. And then that's there. So we've got this last bit to do, and then this is the belly band on the back. I've made this a little bit bigger than that one. I quite liked the bigger size. I've actually cut this a little bit bigger, so I need to just take off 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm actually going to stick this down first of all. So let me stick the belly band down to the page. I'm going to go in the middle, and then you'll need to put your glue on the back side of your tag holder. So this is on your mounting fold side of the tag holder. We're going to just slip that under and then position it where you want it. So I'm going to have it about there on this one, and then I'm just going to use my to make sure that that is level. There we go. And I'm just going to add some of, just going to draw around my tag holder so that I can put my glue on there. Now by all means you can make this a bit smaller, but I'm going to leave it that big. So now we just need to cover it. I'll go with the black. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is add a lovely little cut apart on there. Then what I might do on here is I've got these little postage stamps which I might put either going down, or I might go across that. No, I'm going to have it coming up, and then these I'm going to cut and put along. So I think that would look really nice. And then that kind of comes up. Okay, and then I've got one extra one which you can either put there, and then these smaller ones now the one that is going onto the back of the pattern paper, I'm not going to back that, I'm going to leave that as is. Then the Alice can go just on the back paper like that. Oh no, I wasn't going to do that, was I? I was going to have them, right, let me just check. Like so, like so, and then that can go there. Yes, I'll have it like that. And that's just going to fit on there. Now I'm not going to have it, it's going to put a bit of glue onto the tag holder, come up a little bit and across. Go across there. That can go, move over like so, and then let's stick these down. Like that, and then the Alice can just fit on the top there. And that can stick all the way down. We're going to make a start on the rolled spine. So this is what you need to cut first, and you're going to cut this at 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. So for this we need to score at 1/8 of an inch intervals. And that one. There we go. So I'm just going to work that round with my hands. bring our book in. Now I am going to add some of my tape. I'm going to open this tape off. Now you would put your tape all the way down to the bottom here, and add your glue all in the middle, and then we can put it on. Make sure that you've got it the right way, like so, and then we can just add this in. Rolled spine on the outside, and I think what I am going to do as well is on the inside I am actually going to add some craft cards on here as well. I wasn't going to, but I actually like the look that it's given us on that spine, and then it's going to give us a bit more stability as well. So this one is our back panel, and this I'm going to cut to 8 inches. And then this will be, because I haven't actually done an outside bit on here, which I need to do, so this will be the same. This will be 1 3/8. Okay, so to go on there. So that is my back piece. Like so. And then I just need to cut a craft card piece for this, which I think is 1.5 by 6. 1.5 by 6, and by 6. So one of these you need to just score at your 1/8 of an inch increments all the way. And then just use the side of your table just to create that roll. There we go. Add your double-sided tape, and again just to those edges, and then add your glue. 2, and then add the glue. Okay, and then get it into place. There we go, that's a lot better. It's a lot more sturdier now with that extra cardstock in. So this is just going to fit onto this part here. Let me add this in. This is on the other spine, like so. And then this is just going to fit. There we go. Make sure I had it the pattern matched the right way. Okay, and then this is just going to fit on like so. I'm just going to push that in. There we go, because that's a straight one, so that should sit quite nicely. So then we've just got this part here. So you need to cut another one of these at 1 and this way, 1 3/8 by 6 and no, by 7 and 1 and by 5 7/8. So let me just do my increments on this. And then it's going to fold the other way, so you need to come round, so you need to roll it so that it's inverted. So add your tape again, make sure you've got it so that you've got the right side as your pattern match. Okay. So that then is your rolled spine, and it will roll the more you use it, but that's then nice and taut. It's really strong now with that added one in. So this is your last page, and that's going to be 7 1/8. Make sure that's at the bottom. 7 1/8. Right, 5 7/8. And then this is just going to fit on like so. That is that page done. I'm going to leave this video here. There will be a part 2, which will be all the photo mats and a few more embellishment ideas as well. So don't forget to check that video out. Please don't forget to comment, like, and most definitely subscribe to the channel. It really does help my channel grow, and I thank each and every one of you that hits that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on all the socials. Links, as always, are in the description box down below, as well as a link to my Facebook group, Memories Paper Art, where you will be able to get this PDF as well as others. So wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing, please have the most amazing day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!